Hey guys, Mr. Mimikyu here, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing Incineroar in the Ultra League. Incineroar is a Fire Dark type Pokemon from the Alola region with the moveset of Snarl, Dark Pulse, and Flame Charge. And with that, I also decided to pair it up with Trevenant and Walrein. Trevenant's moveset is Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, and Seed Bomb, and it is the non-XL variant, while Walrein's moveset consists of Powder Snow, Icicle Spear, and Earthquake. Now, keep in mind, this is very similar to the Talonflame Walrein Trevi cord that you would see in the Ultra League, but the thing is, I don't have a Talonflame build for Ultra League, so Incineroar is basically the substitute until I get enough Stardust to build up the Talonflame, which I haven't because I've been building up nothing but stupid things. But anyways, enough chit chat, let's just get on to pvpoke.com for the ratings of this team. Now, before I start anything, I know for a fact that the bulk is downright terrible. If you can look, that it's a direct D, mainly because of how glassy this team is, because there are things that would just straight up destroy it, like Scrafty would just have a fun time and just destroy my team because of how bulky it is and being able to raise its attack with Power Up Punch while unleashing pretty good damage with Foul Play. But other than that, it was just more for fun. It's just that basically if I had Talonflame instead of Incineroar, then maybe the scoring of the bulk could go up to a C, but other than that, it's just a very abyssal team though. It is not recommended for climbing, even though I was able to get in 5-0 in one set, but it's just not worth for climbing though. I will say this though, Incineroar is fun as a spice pick, but I think there are better Pokemon that would suit its job much better. Ultra League is just full of XLs, and sometimes I would recommend you doing it, but at other times I would have to say skip this league and just wait till Great League comes back if that is what your main interest though. But other than that, let's just get on to the battles. Moving on to the first match, we got Incineroar into Galvantula. Now, basically, Incineroar has the type matchup because of its fire type, but we ended up losing CMP, so I decided to no-shield the lunge and get my attack back up from the Flame Charge, and they decided to shield it. I decided to try and catch the lunge, but failed to do so because they saved their energy and they managed it very well. They get off a lunge. I click on Shadow Ball. We lose CMP again. And I decided to shield just so I wouldn't lose a switch advantage. And now I'm 2 stages debuff. Even though Galvantula has made a paper, we're able to get off the Shadow Ball. And now I decided to throw the C-Bomb on the Walrein, which is CMP. And I decided, let's let the Icicle Spear go. Because, Trevenant has done its job, and I decided to wait out my clock, bring in my own Walrein, I could just go for Earthquakes, it is what it is, because, Walrein likes to do that, though. I go for an Earthquake, and they try to catch the Earthquake onto their Swampert and fail to do so, so I decided to throw in the Icicle Spear. We managed to get a shield. We decided to throw in a back-to-back Icicle Spear, sorta, which we did, and now that they're have enough energy, I decide to use Powder Snow and then catch the Earthquake on the Swampert. That was just epic. I know for a fact this is not an Earthquake because they're just going to throw in Hydro Cannon for some chip damage, and they decide to try and catch the Icicle Spear on the Walrein and failed to do so, but I decided, let's go for an Earthquake, and they were going to fire off their own Icicle Spear, but they know it wouldn't KO, so I decided to throw in an Icicle myself, and I win. Moving on to the next match, we got Gengar lead. Now, they decided to switch into Walrein, and I was thinking of swapping, but you know what, let's go for a Flame Charge to boost our attack, and here I made a bit of a misplay. I could have stayed in, but I know for a fact that I didn't want to waste a shield with them using Earthquake on me. Now here, I ended up making another misplay, and I thought they were going to throw Earthquake, but instead they threw Icicle Spear. Here, I could have clicked Icicle Spear of my own, but you know what, I decided to play it safe, and I'm very confused why they aren't attacking, and I throw in the Earthquake, and you know what they did? They double shielded their Walrein, and they throw in the Earthquake, and I die. I should have saved it, but at the time I was thinking, I don't think it's worth it though. So I bring in Trevenant. I know for a fact that they're going to outpace us to the Icicle Spear, and that kind of sucks for me, and I tried to get off the Seed Bomb, which I am able to, even though I should have done it with CMP. They bring him back in the Gengar, I bring in Incineroar, and of course they have Machamp. Now, at times I feel like I want to have Fire Blast, but I feel like Fire Blast is just not worth it. They get off the Cross Chop, and the main reason why I misplay, as you'll see right here, I basically stored up a Seed Bomb and a Shadow Ball. And you know what they did? Gengar wins CMP against Trevenant. What is there that Gengar does not win CMP against? Let me know in the comments. Moving on to the next match, we got a Gyarados lead. Now, basically, Gyarados lead is kind of scary though, because usually when you see Gyarados, they usually come with Dragon Breath, not Dragon Tail. And I noticed my opponent was running a double Legacy Gyarados, and basically I counted to 4, and I threw exactly perfectly, and there is no way this is going to be a crunch. This is just another Aqua Tail. So they bring in Machamp, and you know what? I decided to shield up the Walrein, and what sucks is that we both lost our shields, but at least I can like outpace them to the second Icicle Spear. They didn't shield the first, but then they were like, you know what? Let's shield the second, and sure enough, they did, and I was just kind of upset about that though. So basically, we were both down our shields, and I decided to wait in the switch clock. I go into Trevenant as opposed to Incineroar because I didn't want to take super effective against the Cross Chop. So they bring in Nidoqueen, and they throw right away. This is just a poison thing. I could have thrown it into Seed Bomb for some excessive chip damage, but I didn't. I decided to store up a Shadow Ball for later. I throw in a Dark Pulse. Doesn't quite KO, which is fine because, well, they can just go for a Poison Fang here. There's no reason to waste all that energy and use Earth Power. And I managed to live with almost like a sliver of health and then fire off the Flame Charge against the Nidoqueen. So basically all they have left is Gyarados. I throw in the Shadow Ball, even though I could have like clicked on the Shadow Claw, but I didn't. And sure enough, we were able to get off the Seed Bomb and secure the KO. So GG's. Moving on to the next match, we got a Charizard lead. Now, Charizard is sort of like Incineroar, but the only difference is that we don't have Blast Burn. They snuck a Wing Attack in. Usually with Charizard, you expect either a Fire Spin or the Dragon Claw. They stored up energy, they bring in Blastoise, and I bring in Trevenant, and I decided to shield just in case it is the Ice Beam, and sure enough, it is. So that was an excellent shield done by me, and basically I decided to stack up to 2 Seed Bombs, and one doesn't even get the shield. That's very surprising. And so I throw in the second, and they shield it because they want to get off an Ice Beam. I snuck a Shadow Claw through, and I decided to no shield because, you know, I think maybe, you know, there's a chance, you know. And sure enough, we were able to take him down. So they bring in back in Charizard, and I decided to go into Walrein, and I decided to shield just to be safe in case it was a Blast Burn, for which it was, so that was a very good shield. I throw in the Icicle Spear and take down, or they shielded, and then I had a Dark Pulse loaded. I could have gone for Flame Charge, but, you know, it's okay. Moving on to the next match, we got a Walrein lead. Now, when seeing Walrein in the lead, usually, like, they usually bait with Icicle Spear first. So they throw at 9, and I decide to call Icicle Spear, and it ends up becoming an Earthquake. They snuck a Powder Snow through, and I was like pretty embarrassed, because I thought they were going to fire off the Icicle Spear, but instead I got hit really hard with an Earthquake. I decided to no shield, because like, what's the point of shielding at that kind of health, you know? Like, Walrein is pretty tanky though. So I throw an Icicle Spear, I managed to bait them, and we end up losing CMP because I think their attack IV is above 5. They returned their bait with after using mine. So I go for Earthquake, and I managed to secure the KO. They have Gyarados, and basically, you know what? Let's play it out by ear. Let's shield and then fire off the Icicle Spear. It is a Shadow Gyarados for that matter, so interesting to say, though, the least. It did big damage. I bring in Trevenant, and, you know, I fire off the Seed Bomb, and managed to KO because, well, they could have like shielded and then fire off a Crunch, but they got scared. And of course, their last Pokemon Swampert. Trevenant is an easy hard counter as long as they don't have Sludge Wave, and I think I'll be probably good to go. They throw in an Earthquake, which I have to say, you could have just thrown double Hydro Cannon instead of using Earthquake, but nonetheless, Seed Bomb was able to KO. Moving on to the next match, we got a Giratina lead. Now this is very, very good. They immediately swap into Scrafty. Now Scrafty is a core breaker to this team, and because it has type advantage against every single one of my Pokemon. It has Foul Play for Trevenant and Power Up Punch for Walrein. So I decided to throw in On Alignment, and sure enough we did. And we decided to do the same thing again just so that they wouldn't get a sneak. They got Power Up Punch, so that kind of blows for me. So I decided to throw in the second Seed Bomb, and we get the first shield, and I decided to call the Power Up Punch again. But the first one I ended up failing, and we were able to get there, and you know what? They decided to double shield, trying to win a switch advantage. And you know what? I think Trevenant has done its job. I don't need it anymore, and they undercharged the thing, and you know what? Let's go for Flame Charge. I can't go for Dark Pulse because it's double resisted. I was able to secure the KO. They got a Charm, Alola, and Ninetales. They try to bank anything possible for Giratina, but that's okay. We fire off the Dark Pulse, and they quit. Moving on to the next match, we got a Walrein lead. Now, I know we play it by ear, and they ended up switching in the Machamp, so I go into Trevenant, and here I click on the C-Bomb. They managed to snuck, and that's okay. They shielded, and you know what? I decided to no shield, and it ends up becoming a Rock Slide, which is fine. We click on Seed Bomb, and we end up losing CMP, which is alright because we're able to land this Seed Bomb for some nice, decent damage. There's a lot of lag going on. I'm like wondering what's going on. At least we were able to farm down, but they bring back in the Walrein, and I threw on Unalignment because their plan is to farm me down, and I try to catch the Icicle Spear and fail to do so. And you know what? I'm gonna let it go, and it ends up becoming an Earthquake. Seriously, that's 2 times they use Earthquake on me. Oh my god, that is just unfortunate. And to be honest, I could go back into Trevenant, but instead I decided to bring in Walrein. And you know what? Let's just let them hit me with Earthquake because, I'm at a point where I feel like I'm done. They try to snipe with Machamp but failed to do so. So I go for the Earthquake onto their Walrein. They have a Trevenant in the back, and basically this game is almost over. We can tank 1 Seed Bomb. We tried to catch but failed to do so, but we managed to put out the Seed Bomb, and that's a good game. Moving on to the next match, we got a Cresselia lead. Now, Cresselia is a very, very, very tanky Pokemon in the Ultra League. Its HP and defense is no joke. We were able to tank a Moonblast, and I decided to fire off the Dark Pulse to do some amazing damage, and here I decided, you know what? Let's bait them with a Flame Charge, thinking, oh, he's going to go for another Dark Pulse again. Instead, haha, sucker! We boost up the attack, and you know what? Let's no shield, and because, we can win in the 0-1, but not the 0-2, though. Because, basically, Incineroar is pretty good, and I try to get off the Dark Pulse, which I'm able to do so, and they ended up shielding, and which ends up becoming CMP. I don't like that play. You shouldn't have thrown on CMP. That's just kind of silly though. And here I decided to shield just in case it was a Shadow Ball, which it was, and they bring in Articuno. I go into Walrein, and they quit. Moving on to the next match, we got a Melmetal lead. Now, basically, you could run Fire Fang on Incineroar, but you would want to go for Snarl though because of its vastly superior energy generation, while Fire Fang mainly secures better in terms of damage output, though you are much slower though because both Dark Pulse and Flame Charge uses 50 energy. Now, if Incineroar were able to get Blast Burn, it would definitely become a better matchup for it. We tried to catch the Rock Slide, but instead they threw the Superpower, which is kind of funny. They bring in Gyarados, and we all know how to play it out here. I decided to shield just in case it was the Crunch, which it was, and what sucks is that we're down 2 shields, and I decided to bait them with a Seed Bomb. They shielded. I throw in the Shadow Ball, thinking, he's going to use another Seed Bomb. And you know what? Haha! Nailed it. So they bring in Melmetal. I'm able to farm it down. They have a Venusaur in the back. I throw in the Shadow Ball because you know what? I'm not baiting here. I fire it off. I bring in Walrein, catch the Frenzy Plant, and You know, I could have gone into Incineroar by its side, you know, let's see how it goes, and we killed each other. But I managed to still win, and that's the 5-0. We managed to get ourselves an Absol. It is not a hundo, but that's okay. I'm happy I got it, and we succeed with a 5-0. Moving on to the next match, we got a Giratina lead. Now, we know how it plays out. Basically, this Giratina has Shadow Claw, which is what you would usually run for the Ultra League with Giratina. Alter is that you would much rather go for Shadow Claw as opposed to Dragon Breath. Like, both have their pluses and minuses. They bring in Heracross, I bring in Trevenant, and I decided to shield up just in case it was a Mega Horn, which it was, and thankfully that shield was stupendous, because if I did not shield, then I probably would have like taken a lot of damage. And they throw in the Rock Blast, which we were able to survive. You know, like we all know how frail Heracross is. Like, there's no reason to go for Shadow Ball when I could just go for a Seed Bomb. They bring back in the Giratina. I figured, you know, they're probably just going to Dragon Claw me, but they decide to full send the Shadow Sneak, which does the same amount of damage as Dragon Claw, but instead it costs 10 more energy. So I bring in Incineroar, and here I feel like Fire Blast would have been this matchup a lot more better. We get the Sneak while they throw off the Zap Cannon, so now my attack is back at its same stage that it was at. I throw in the Flame Charge, they shield it. I throw in the second Flame Charge, and they snuck a Lock On, which is proven that fast moves are very consistent now. I throw in the Snarls, and I'm not quite able to take it out, which is fine. They get off the Focus Blast because that's like a lot of energy. They try to catch the Earthquake and fail to do so. And you know, a Dragon Claw, we can take one as well as two. They throw in the Shadow Sneak, which is kind of surprising though. So maybe my guessing is that they probably don't have it, but we're able to secure the KO. Moving on to the last and final match of the day, we got Cresselia, and basically they decided to charge up energy. They try to catch the Dark Pulse, which they failed to do so. We're able to land it. They fire off the Moon Blast and do some good damage onto me, and they even get the attack debuff. They try to catch the Dark Pulse on the Regirock. I decide to save up the Dark Pulse for later, and decide, you know, let's spam out Seed Bomb after Seed Bomb after Seed Bomb with Trevenant here. They have the Regirock, and basically, like, Regirock plays in the similar way as its other friends do, except it can get to Stone Edge in 11 lock-ons, while it takes 12 to get to the Thunder for Regice. And at least, like, with Regirock, you can, like, get to the Stone Edge super quick because it's only 11. They try to catch the Seed Bomb, but fail to do so. So I go for the Shadow Ball, unleash heavy damage, and they try to go into Regirock. I'm able to Seed Bomb that, and I'm trying to figure out what their last Pokemon is, and it ends up becoming a Scrafty. Now here, I throw in the Seed Bomb, you know, it's all fine and dandy, hoping to get a CMP, but we don't. We try to catch the Foul Play on the Walrein and fail to do so. They go for a Power Up Punch, and I'm thinking, holy crap, they have a lot of energy. Like, my goodness, that's just a lot of energy. Like, I know Power Up Punch isn't that strong, and we fail to align with CMP, but that's okay. We hit the Icicle Spear, which they shield it. I throw in the Flame Charge with Incineroar, almost KO it, and they get off a move. I'm thinking, snap, we lost. But we're able to get off the Flame Charge, but we could have gone for Dark Pulse as a disrespect, but that's okay. All in all, I had a blast using Incineroar. Now I will say this, if you happen to get yourself a Litten from an egg or in the wild, do yourself a favor and do not evolve it straight into Incineroar until Litten gets itself a community day. Mainly because if you happen to evolve it, like right now, you will not be able to get Blast Burn. But if Litten Community Day does happen sometime in the future, say like in 2023 or even 2024, Incineroar would be able to get the Fire-type charge move, Blast Burn, like all the other Fire-type starters do. Now, basically, Incineroar is just more of a spice pick than a fun pick. Like, initially, like, if I had saved all my Stardust instead of wasting it on powering up stupid things for, like, certain metas, I would have had a Talonflame ready for the Ultra League, and instead, I don't. But other than that, Incineroar was just all around fun to use though. I just had a blast with it, and I just feel like it definitely needs like a better move. Like Blast Burn would definitely help it, but in the main series, Incineroar gets a move called Darkest Lariat, which was in fact its signature move in Generation 7 until other Pokemon got access to it in Generation 8 via TM. And other than that, Incineroar just really has a spot in my heart. It is my favorite Pokemon from the Alola region despite me never playing Sun or Moon, but other than that, it was fun to use.